Alright everybody, welcome back to SirenSongGaming. We are here on our Noob Dark playlist today. Um, we're gonna go ahead and get off to the Hydrodam today. I apologize for the big length of time between these videos. Life has been a little bit hectic for me. I'll spare you the details right this second, but I'm sure we'll get into it later. So goals for today are going to be to go to the Hydrodam, explore through. We have the key for I think the cache in there, and then we'll figure out where we want to go next. I think we'll probably head up to Pleasant Valley next, just so we can go up to the. I've had a lot of people asking how to get to Summit and how to get to Ash Canyon, the mine. So we'll probably do that pretty early in this playlist. We need clothing anyway, so seems like a solid way to go. There is probably a bear waiting for us somewhere out here. I scrubbed the last video just to see where we were, and there was a bear wandering around here, but I'm not seeing him today. Oh, there he is. As soon as I say something. So we're going to cut back that way and then go along the Hydrodam there. Big things to watch out for in this area. Obviously that there bear over there. As long as he is over there and not seeming interested in us, he's fine to stay over there. As long as he doesn't stand up on his feet and charge us, we're probably fine. We only have a distress pistol, so I don't really want to pick fights with bears at this stage. I'm not good enough with a distress pistol to headshot one, unless it's an absolute emergency. I do apologize if you guys hear any weird noises in the background. I have all three dogs up here with me while I'm recording. And you may hear the occasional snap of me snapping my fingers at them, squeaky toys, crinkly squeaky toys, things of that nature. Sorry in advance, but I gotta let them be free too as well. So it's been a long week for them, as well as us. So they gotta have their freedom. You might hear that too. That growling sound is the puppy playing, so nobody's fighting. Do not be alarmed. They just are loud. Growlings are notoriously loud when they wrestle, so they make Tasmanian devil noises is the best way I can describe them. So it's all good here. Everything's kosher. Just like to preface that because I have had people like come up to my yard and be like, "Your dogs are fighting." It's like, no, they're not. They're just being loud. There's a deer. It's nice. So I've heard a few people asking me to do videos on going to the mine. I've heard a few people asking for videos about getting up to Summit, things like that. We're gonna go ahead and focus on those videos, definitely for sure. Since you guys are already watching this video stream, what types of other stuff are you looking for? What other stuff can I help you with? I've gotten really good feedback on my fishing video that I've done so far. I'm going to go back and edit that and try to see if I can find my data that has the weight of the fishes and how many calories. I know I was recording that for at least a third of those. I recorded the weights and stuff. It's not a very big sample size, but it's something. I'll probably go back and redo some of that data soon, but probably it'll be a little while because that literally took me like an entire weekend to get the data for that video. So we'll redo it again soon, but probably not till we hit level 5. Because that seems like the ultimate way to test it, at least in my opinion. I don't know if you guys saw the patch notes. Scurvy is now a thing in after the DLC launches. And I don't know about you, but I'm not really too excited to get scurvy. So I'm going to imagine these red berries, the rose hips, give you a bunch of vitamin C. They typically do stuff like this. So I am going to make a conscious effort to hoard these in all of my games now. I'll just prepare them and set them down. There's a deer carcass here, which we could harvest if we wanted to. I think I'm going to leave it for now, just because I do not want to carry around the smelly stuff with me. We'll grab these cattails up, though, because they are free food. And we already lit this torch, so I'm just going to leave it lit. Because I think there's another wolf up here, typically. Hope everybody's week has been going good so far. It is Friday. For me, which means it's my weekend. I work 4 10-hour shifts, so my weekend starts on Friday, which is pretty sweet. I do say so myself. I personally don't mind working 10-hour shifts, so it's kind of the perfect schedule for me now. But it does mean that I can only really record on Fridays. So unless I have time on the weekends. It's hard to record on the weekends because I typically want to spend time with my wife. So if I can get videos, at least a few recorded on Fridays, it means I can have one set to launch. Still back and forth on what time I should be going live. Depends on what other streamers are doing. I obviously don't want to be live the same time as another streamer. That kind of is redundant. Because a lot of my watching base also watches other people. And I don't want to make you guys pick. So, seems like a couple of the streamers have stopped doing AM streams for this game, which works in my favor, but I was not ready to get up and do it this morning, so. Thinking maybe, it's about 8:45 AM today. I might try to go live a little bit later this afternoon. I'd like to try to get 2 or 3 of these videos cranked out first. Dog's forgiving, if they'll allow me to have the time. Otherwise, I don't have anything else going on, so. But as much as I enjoy the live streams, I do need to get some straight content out as well. I've been a little bit lacking, especially with the series, which is kind of what I'm building my channel around, so I have to get, you know, working on this series. But, because my channel is more geared towards the learning player anyway. I am no expert by any means, but I'm always happy to pass along any tips and tricks I've come across during my time playing. So, little detour there to collect cat shells. It's a worthwhile detour most times. So, we're getting a little cold, but we should be at the dam very shortly. Landmarks for the dam, pretty easy. So if you go back on the lake like where we just were, sorry, big dog is shaking the house. Like where we just were, the pathway back up here is pretty straight. As long as you just hug the wall here, you want this big outside wall. If you just hug along it, there's obviously some wolves along the way and things like that. You're gonna come up to this little hunting blind, and then you want to go that way where that wolf is. I should pull the map up for you guys. Hold on just a second. Let me get inside this hunting blind, and then I'll pull the map up for you guys. Wonder if they're going to increase the rosehip spawns now because of the scurvy. Ooh, so we have revolver cartridge, a broken arrow, that's a free arrow tip, awesome. An archery book, some rifle ammo, and a first aid kit. Sweet, with a stim in it. Alright, so here's where we're at. Here's where we were. So we started off in this cabin right here. What we did was we came back this way, and went up to where the river hit here. We walked up this way. We're at this hunting blind here. Per the map, there should be a cave right here to our side, which I didn't actually think to look for. But the wolf that I was just talking about that was patrolling, he's right here. Okay. So, where we're at, we started here. Then we walked this way. Up and around this way. We're literally right here in this hunting blind. That wolf that I was talking about is right here. So we just need to skirt around him, and then if you look, the Hydrodam's right here. So then we're sold where we want to go. So far, we have been to I thought there was a way to mark it up without going into the edit mode. Maybe they changed it. That's okay. We've been so far. We started off up. Thank you. So we started up. We spawned right here by Max's Last Stand, down in this bottom left-hand corner. I don't know if you guys can see my mouse bouncing. We went to Trapper's Homestead, which is here. And then we went back up and around this way. We hit the derailed trains. We did hit the forestry lookouts as well, I saw on our logs. So, and then we're here on this lake. If we go up to the dam, that's perfect. We also haven't hit this logging camp, I believe, but we could probably just scoot back that way later. There's not typically much. There's a few houses there, but meh. We'll see if we want to go there. We probably should, but maybe what we'll do is we'll come out here, cross the river, hit those, and then come back. We'll see. Back at it. So, we're in the hunting blind still. Where's the map? There you are. That, I guess, there's a cave. Come on, Big Dumb. Those of you that don't know, this is a good way to deter wolves without wasting any bullets. You just drop your torch if you're starting through this playlist midway. Equip a torch in your hand that's lit, and then pull out a rock. If you just cock the rock, or whatever you have. So if I just wanted to use even the distress pistol, you could pull it out, point it at the wolf, and as long as there's a torch at your feet, it'll run off. It's a great way, especially in the higher difficulties where it's harder to find firearms and things. It's a great way to deter wolves. We do have that deer carcass there. I'm still kind of thinking the same thing. I don't want the meat on me right now. I don't want to aggro wolves or bears by giving me smell bars. The smell bars are kind of annoying, especially when we don't have firearms to start firing off at. So early game, I typically ignore those. It's a free pelt if you need it, but I don't think we really need the pelt right now. To me, the risk is not worth the reward, which is where I make that decision from. The risk seems like it's worth the reward, great. It just doesn't feel like it's worth it right now. We're still early game, we're under geared, we're cold, like there's lots of things to me that say maybe we wait. So. A lot of this game, when I play, is risk versus reward calculation. I mean, if this isn't going to benefit me, how much is it going to hurt me if it goes wrong? Because typically, I would say about 2/3 of the time, whatever you hope doesn't happen, does happen. So, got this birch bark. Birch bark's really good for making restorative teas. It's nice to have some backup ones in case you get chewed up by a wolf or a bear. We're going to hold off on collecting these cattails right now. They're going to take too long. I just don't really feel like it. And we have a ton in our pocket. We're going to come on this side of the bridge because there is a wolf there. I saw him there. We could easily scare him off, but we said that, I said I would go take a peek at Clear Cut real quick, or the logging cabins. So in order to do that, we have to get back up here, and we have to head back away. There's the dam. These trees here are the acorn trees. So, dig through the the snow here, find some acorns. We can process them down. They're a little time consuming and take a lot of water, but it's worth grabbing them if you have the spare weight. Should stop running. I have a dirty habit of running all the time, which doesn't seem like a bad thing, except it makes you really tired really quickly. And if you guys can see, we're already pretty tired. It's because I keep running. And it's only midday, so we should not be this tired already. We are overweight as well, which does contribute to our tiredness, but what are you going to do? So on the map, even though The cabins look like cabins on the map that we're heading to. They're actually trailers. There is some decent stuff in these trailers sometimes too. We're probably gonna just catch a few hours of sleep while we're there too. We'll abandon this torch. I'm not gonna keep it lit. Seems kind of wasteful to keep it lit. So. But if you come up that way where we just were, hug this wall here, you should run right into those trailers. This is a common spawn for wolves too, so just keep your eyes out. There can be a bear up here too. That does occasionally spawn. So, as always, just keep your eyes and ears peeled. Here. And those trailers, if you can, I don't know if you can see them out in the distance between those trees. They're right in front of us, between those dense trees there. You can kind of see the straight line right there. See where my torch is pointing on the map? That's where we're headed. You have all the logs to the side here. If you do go back up that way, you're at clear cut. I do believe there's some stuff hidden in the... This looks like it's going to turn into a blizzard. We're going to run a little bit. Yeah, this weather's actually probably a good reason to get inside, so we're gonna hunker down for a little bit. I'm worried this is gonna turn into a blizzard. It looks a little suspicious like it might. Kicked up pretty quick for it not to be. And the wind, we're already going to be fighting hypothermia at this point, so there's no point to have wet, damaged clothes on top of it. Since one of the newer updates, it seems like whenever your clothes get wet and frozen, they do take some condition loss as well. So, really critical to keep an eye on your gear. So here's the logging camp that we were talking about. We made it. What do we have in here? We have a fire log, which I'm not excited about, a cooking pot, which we'll take, and then this plastic container. Piece of cloth in it. Fantastic. Probably do some repairs while we're waiting anyway. We have food. We might just sit down and read a book too. So there's 3 cabins here we can explore. Not a bad spot to be if it is going to start blizzarding. We have some stuff we can do. There's a flare. We don't need that newspaper roll right now. I know we could grab it, but we don't really need the tinder, and they get a little bit annoying to carry. Another antiseptic that's probably going to be left at the front of the dam. We have a bunch of stuff I want to leave. Because it is heavy. Clothing. We'll look and see if that's better than what we have. Some jeans. Not bad.
Barely walk with this much gear.
Tools. I think we have quality tools, so I'm not going to grab those. Oh, we have simple tools. Regardless, we don't need them. And they also get heavy, so we'll leave those here. Go on to the next trailer. I don't trust this weather. It feels sus. There we are. Next one. Oh, we got a dead guy in here with us. Some mittens, which are probably warmer than what's on our hands right now. Peaches, water tabs, socks. Our friend has some new beef jerky. He must have recently died. Another flare. Those marine flares, the blue ones. Typically the best thing to do is save them for timber wolves. If you have to use them, fine. But the timber wolves are more afraid of the blue ones than the red ones. However, the blue ones have a significantly shorter period of time that they work. So they don't work for as long. Okay. Another pair of shoes. That's some free leather. We'll take it and break it down. Thin sweater. Take that. That actually should be pretty warm. The plaid shirt just depends on what we're actually wearing, which I don't quite recall what we're wearing right this second, so. it might be warmer, and if it's not, we'll just break it down. Or leave it. Nothing. Another can opener. Alright, so we are hungry. Let's take care of this. Eat these new pork and beans. That should be enough for right now. We're gonna have to make some water at the dam. Oh no, we'll find some water at the dam. Even better. Now, what are we wearing? Let's put that sweater on. Alright, so this and this we can drop because we need to break them down. Put the pair of jeans we just got on. Socks. It's all warmer than what we're wearing. That's not as warm, but it needs to be repaired, so we'll wear it, and then we will repair it. And then it should be warmer than the wraps. Great. Now they're the same, but that's okay. We can harvest these up, get the cloth back from them. Sorry. And actually, that is warmer than this scarf. We'll switch our scarves out. We will pick these up so we can break them down. We can harvest this arrow because we just want the feathers and the arrowhead off of it. Anyway, the shaft is broken. And these we will drop inside the dam. We have a lot of food on us. Let's take a risk and we'll eat this candy bar. Eat this candy bar. At this point we have so much food, there's no reason for us not to eat it. We got a lot of those cattails earlier, which kind of changes my opinion on where we're at with food. Let's only keep the better can opener. Having 2 pots is heavy, so we'll keep the better pot. And we'll probably leave these books somewhere. Let's harvest this down. We have some time. Harvest this down. Harvest that down. Alright, in terms of repairing, we can repair these jeans. Everything else isn't in too terrible of shape, it looks like. Hoping we'll get some warmer clothes as soon as we get to the dam. But if not, let's repair these. These are really important for us to keep good. We failed, let's try again. Okay, new mucklucks, awesome. And everything else is over 90%, which means I'm not going to touch it. I don't have any water. I think tomato soup gives us water. Some water. It does. Great. What else do we have that might give us some water? Condensed milk. Yeah, let's do it. We don't really need any condition back, so let's take the risk on the food poisoning. Okay, we got lucky. Alright, well, let's sleep for as long as we can. Sleep for 8. We're gonna run out of water by then, but that's okay. just take the condition loss for sleeping more. We're only going to the dam. Cool. We are fully rested. The sun is almost up. I guess we could just make some water outside here. Ew. Alright. That's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to that little lean-to shelter. Which I think was over, yeah, here. Well, I said that weather seems a little sus. Weather seems a little sus. Alright. So let's get this fire started. We're gonna use an accelerant because we have 3 of them. And why not? I also kind of need this fire, so throw that in there. Get rid of the stupid fire lock. That should be good. We can. We'll just do a little bit of water. Let's cook a potato. We need. And our cooking skill is insufficient, so let's cook some potato. So when we crouch, we are blocked from the wind here. So. And since we have the tabs and we really need water, we are just going to put the tabs in the water. We have these purification tabs, we might as well use them. It's basically 2 per gallon, or 2 per pot full of water. So 1 per gallon, or 4 per gallon, 2 per half gallon. We're cold even with the fire sitting here, so we are going to head back inside. We may need to take our clothing off for a little bit, but we can't sit out in this blizzard. It's bad for us. Okay. How are we doing on our clothes? How wet are we? Not very. So we'll just drop these on the ground, let it dry, and snooze for a little bit. Not thirsty. Okay. Let's read for an hour. Let's read something useful. So we can read... Did we start any of these books yet? No. So let's read the fire starting one. Oh, we did. 2 hours. Let's read another hour of this. So we get warm again. Kind of sounds like the weather's better now. And these are dry. So, great. We'll put this stuff back on. I don't know if you guys noticed, everything we had on before was over 100%, including this head wrap. This head wrap's now at 87% because it got wet. Same with the scarf. The scarf's now at 64. So if you're sitting outside in blizzards, be very careful. Between the wind damage and the water, your clothes will degrade very quickly. So just be very careful on your clothing condition. I've had stuff break off my body in the middle of a blizzard because I wasn't watching. And it's been like late game, so it's really, really important, especially late game, where it's hard to get these items back. You keep an eye on your stuff. We are going to run because we're not going far, and it's still kind of cold out here. We're still missing a good amount of clothing that we should have, so we just have to be careful here. And I'll probably break these videos up into like 45-minute videos, so we'll probably go through the dam however long it takes us to explore the dam. And then we'll pause the video and then get back on it. So I think we should be in and out within 15 minutes, so Then we'll head to Pleasant Valley. I'll show you guys some stuff in Pleasant Valley, and hopefully we can get to Timberwolf Mountain before I'm done streaming today. Well, recording today. And then we can work on those videos. I'd like those videos to be separate so that we can title them a certain way. So that if people don't want to watch this whole series, that's fine. Or don't want to watch through it, but do just want like the big, you know, we made it to Timberwolf Mountain, yay, like those videos. Like the how to get to Timberwolf and those videos, at least they're easy to find for people. Our goal is to help the most people we can, so that's the best way for us to do it. So. Might eventually do a like explore a region with me type videos, like these are the big things in each map. I think that's a cool idea. Like things you should hit on each map. But that's a future project, I think. And that'll be better once all of the zones are out. That's probably a project I'll take on then. So, because we have the new toxic mine. I don't know if you guys saw the dev drop that happened in the last week or so. They did discuss that the new area is going to be like a radioactive or poison gas mine, like what is currently in the Black Rock mine. So we'll be able to find basically hazard suits, which is kind of cool. I'm wondering if that means they'll put more stuff in the Black Rock mine to go explore for. Be kind of a cool idea. There are some toxic wolves or poison wolves, which are more desperate. So I'm assuming they're going to be more dangerous, and they'll leave you with a poisoned affliction. Curious to see how we can cure that, or if we just have to kind of wait it out. Seems like it would suck to get poisoned by a wolf. And then the travois, which they did already say that it is going to be difficult to move over certain terrains. So I'm assuming if you, this is just all speculation, the maps where you need like ropes and stuff to transition through, my guess is you're going to need multiple travois. So you'll have to pull everything out of your travois, climb the rope a bunch of times with your stuff, and then take off. Like my guess is going to be that you obviously cannot take it up ropes and stuff like that. I would be floored if you could. And I'm sure some of the areas where you have to climb over trees and stuff, it would be very difficult to pull a travois across. So I'm interested to see exactly how much goes into yeah, we know about that already. So that note there was just about the walkthrough to get to Milton. So some of these maps do have alternate ways to get through that don't require ropes but are longer. So if it's, you know, a matter of taking those instead of the shorter ways with the ropes. But something like Timberwolf Mountain, like you need to go down a rope to get back into Pleasant Valley. Like I wonder if there's a way just to like heave your travois off the cliff full of stuff. So like you can get down from Timberwolf. Otherwise you'll just have to, I guess, make multiple trips up and down if you want to take everything. Be interested to see how exactly it works. Would be really cool if you could lower your backpack down a rope and then come down after it. Like if you need a separate climbing rope for it, that's fine. But that you could like lower your whole backpack down. Or like if you had to take the rope off, lower your stuff down, and then put the rope back on. Something like that would be interesting. Even if your stuff took a little bit of condition loss or something when you did it, I would be okay with that. You give certain items you couldn't put in your bag and drop, maybe. You had to keep them on your person. Something. We don't have a pry bar? Apparently we don't have a pry bar, so we'll have to come back for that locker. We'll probably find one in the dam. There's typically a few in the dam. We do not want spray paint. Spray paint's gross. Spray paint isn't really gross. It's so like you can use it to mark on the map and stuff like that. I just typically don't use it. It's not my favorite thing to use. Okay, so we are gonna hobble our way to the dam entrance and then we're gonna drop some stuff in the dam. Dam is full of metal things that go bump in the night. My first few times in here I jumped several times because I didn't realize that it was just ambient noise. But what are you gonna do? Got some birds there, which means there's probably a dead body down below. We can go investigate that later, but it's probably a deer or something. That over there is a deer. We can go down and try to explore it later. Minimally grab the feathers. Alright, so we made it into the dam. Cool. So the dam, since the most recent update, has gotten very dark. So give me a second, I will put a lantern on for you guys, and we'll start exploring. I do want to offload a couple things in this main foyer area first, though. Lots of good things in this dam. So one of the big things is there's a bunch of lockers full of stuff. We'll drop this, we'll drop this, we'll drop all three of these, a couple of these, that. I don't think we need 2 whetstones. We don't need 6 rocks. Drop 3 of those. That. Let's come over here. We will drop these so they start curing. This flour can stay. This flour is heavy. Got some grape sodas. Those we will break down. These can go. So we don't need any of this antiseptic. I would rather take the flour than the antiseptic, because at least I can eat the antiseptic or the flour. We can get rid of this. We can always find more. This book we don't need for right now. This book we don't need for right now. That one we can hang on to. We can drop some of these. We don't have any tinder, so we'll keep that stuff. We could drop those rose hips, but I want to process them first. Otherwise, picking up 100 rose hips off the ground is a real pain in the butt. So I'll process those down and then drop them. For right now, they can just stay. We're already moving a lot better. Is a rifle cartridge underneath that locker? It is a pretty common spawn, so keep your eyes out for that. There are a few spots where single rifle cartridges will spawn in this dam, so just keep your eye peeled. Oh, I don't have any lanterns. Alright, well. Here we go, a torch. Hopefully we'll find one. Okay. I swore we had a lantern. Oh well. Alright, well let's get moving then. In this building there are a few workbenches, which are cool. What I will say is, exploring through this dam at night can be a little bit dangerous. These red wires, they will go live during an aurora. So I personally do not explore the dam at night. Because I've gotten stuck in places where I don't have a bedroll and I'm stuck in a corner until the aurora stops. So I've wasted an entire night stuck because I couldn't walk across these cables. So, it was not fun. Lantern fuel. Accelerant. Any soda pops in here? No? That's not. Okay. Still don't have a pry bar yet.
This is more handy.
There we go. I was like, there's usually one in this bathroom. We're gonna leave the water in here for now, in these toilets, because we don't really need it. We may need it later. And I don't want to carry the weight through the dam. So, rifle cartridge. It's empty, but we'll take it. Or a pistol cartridge, rather. Nothing? Okay. Nothing? Okay. Getting unlucky on spawns here, friends. I'm gonna have to make a torch, I think.
Nobody needs this anymore.
Let's do that quick and see if we can maybe get it finished before this other one goes out. No, that's fine. I'll make a second one then. We don't have enough sticks. Okay. Well, let's light the one that we have. It's a full torch. It should last a while. I like to use cardboard matches for this because they are a guaranteed light and they're not as good for fires, for regular fires, so.
Nobody needs this anymore.
Drink some of these sodas up, give us the calories from them. If we can get a well-fed bonus, that would be awesome. Gives us extra weight. Well-fed bonus gives us like 10 pounds of extra weight. That's the door we came in, and that's the door we need to go to, so we'll kind of do this in a counterclockwise motion here.
I can use this.
Some stuff. Flare. All these books are great, but they are heavy, so I'm going to leave them for now. There's a revolver cartridge. Great. We have a safe here. Let's look at everything else before we do that. Nothing. Sometimes these vents open, so I usually hover over them and see if there's an option to open them. There's typically nothing too exciting in them, but free stuff is free stuff. So these safes. If you've never done a safe before, and I think we probably did the one at Trapper's Cabin, you're going to use your directional keys on your keyboard. So it's the opposite of what you think. So if you want to go right, you're hitting the left directional. If you want to go left, you're going to go right. So. And so, see, we missed that. So, just like any other combination lock, if you miss it, you gotta go back to 0. So the first number is 6, which means now we have to go back the opposite way. You can take it slow, you can go fast. Just depends on your play style. Really? Okay, so we have 6, 6. Okay. So we've got 6. Go all the way back around, and then it was like 9 or something. So now, we've got all 3 of these unlocked, it's going to give us the option to open it. So we'll open it. We'll search through it. Found some gunpowder. That's a good find.
Take it.
And some worn boots. These boots are just one of the better boots in the game, but since we have the mucklucks, we'll probably leave them here. I didn't mean to drop that. Okay. Accidentally pulled out my weapon, which automatically makes you drop whatever's in your hands. So that was a nice little catch. I don't think I've found gunpowder in here before, but that's awesome. Usually there's some sort of equipment in there. Sometimes there's money, which is not helpful, but paper's good, I guess. There's usually a body here, and there's the lantern. So, nothing on that guy. Oh, equip this lantern. That's okay. Put this torch out. Put some fuel in it. If we had any metal on us, we could repair this, but the condition of the torch doesn't really matter as long as it doesn't hit 0. Or the lantern, rather. We have plenty of fuel, so I don't feel bad using this. Because we found that jerry can. Fun fact, jerry cans, if you have... So when you go fishing and stuff, when you cook down fish, you get lantern fuel. If you guys know that. If you have a jerry can in your inventory, it'll put it in the jerry can for you, instead of having all of the individual little jugs of lantern fuel. And apparently, price or weight per gallon of lantern fuel is less in a jug than it is in the individual little containers. So it's one of those weird things that is actually kind of handy to know. Drop that here. Can drop some other stuff here by this burn barrel. That. Some of these. That. So. And that. Get a little bit of weight off of us. We have a bedroll, right? We do. Okay. I was like, if we need to put this down and sleep somewhere. Can take this rope to go up. I typically don't. There's a way up there without it. Over there. But you put that on the way back. So once you get down here, oh, there's a broken arrow stuck in the store. So storytelling here is always kind of cool. So there's this guy obviously was shooting something. I'm gonna guess another person. Probably the person that's dead on the other side of the dam. Another lantern here. We can break that one down, or the one that we're using for the fuel back out of it. That one's 99%, which is awesome. So there's 2 ways to go through this dam. Personally, I think the best way is to go out this door here, and then come back around the other way. You have to go out this door to get out to where this stuff is, and the only way back in is to go around the back of the dam. So I always forget to do it, but in my opinion, it's best to go outside first, and then search the rest of the dam after. It'll make sense after I show you. So let's emerge from the lower dam. We're gonna come out here, put this away, save on some fuel. I'm actually gonna break that lantern down right now, so that we don't have the extra weight. This one. Takes us an hour. That's okay.
I'm so tired I could lay down right here.
Great. So now we can... That lantern's basically full. So... There's some stuff down here we can explore. We're walking very slow because we're tired and over encumbered. That's okay though. If you want to break these pallets down, there is some stuff in these tubes. I typically don't waste the time early game. Sometimes I'll do it later game, especially if I need the wood, but right now we don't need the wood. There's some planks there you can break down. There's tons of wood here, so you could live at this dam for a little while if you needed to. But in order to get to Pleasant Valley, you'd go that way. But the big thing we want to do now is there's a little area out here we can explore, but you can't go back in this door. So if you want to come out this way and explore, you have to come out this way first, and then it takes you back through the dam, the back way that we would be going anyway. We also didn't go upstairs at the very bottom, which we can go back and do. I didn't think about that until just now, but it actually worked out because we found a lantern in the meantime. So, since we are almost at an hour on this video though, we'll probably call this video here, and then I'll run downstairs with the dogs out and then go on to the next video so we can explore the rest of the dam. Because it is going to be a little bit more time consuming than I remembered. So, this, as long as you keep yourself to the wall here, you shouldn't fall off. Just, you know, I usually take my auto walk off here and just do it manually. Take your time. Usually push myself as far against this wall as I can. Turn. Because if you fall, I think you will die. Pretty sure you'll die. It's a pretty big fall. Typically there's some sort of carcass out here. Sometimes it's a deer carcass, sometimes it's not. Sometimes there's a human out here. There's the deer. So up here, risk versus reward, we're gonna pull that carcass up. There's nothing that can get us up here. This goes back to that risk versus reward talk we just had a little while ago in this video. So, what I'm gonna do here is we're gonna pull the meat and the guts and the hide off of this. It's gonna probably hurt us a little bit, but that's okay. And we're gonna take this stuff right inside. But see how now we have those 2 smell bars? Those wolves down at the bottom there are gonna be attracted to us, but they can't get to us up here. So we're pretty fine up here. I didn't check for feathers. So there's a couple feathers here. We've got 1, 2. Typically bodies have anywhere between 2 to 4 feathers around them, so if you're not seeing them, just give it a second look. Could also be like when they're in a weird spot like this, that they just didn't spawn right. Probably, you know, could have spawned on top or something silly like that, so. We found 2. Feathers are one of those things that, like, when you need them to make arrows, it's usually too late. Usually you cannot find enough of them. So they're lightweight. I usually stuff them in a drawer somewhere in my bases and just keep collecting them. It's much easier to just collect them when you don't need them than to rush around and try to get them when you need them later. As redundant as that sounds. But. So now, we'll search this backpack. There's a nice warm hat for us. Some more wood. We're going to climb in through this window now. Breaking and entering. Now we're back in the dam. So, this spot in the corner here, by this barrel, is a spawn for Vaughn's rifle. It's not here for us right now, which means it's either probably in the middle where we didn't really explore, where that burn barrel was. Can also be in a cave on the way back to Pleasant Valley. So, there are a couple places it can spawn. It's not spawned here. So that leads me to believe it's at one of the other spawns. Those rifles seem like early game at least that they are guaranteed spawns. We just need to figure out where it spawned. This lockbox is the one, I believe it's for the key we found by the cabin by the bear. We found the key. So these boxes actually have a lot of good stuff in them. This one evidently has MREs in them. So we have lots of food now. Found 3 of them, which is like, they're almost 2,000 calories a piece. So, but it is getting late, so we'll probably throw our bedroll down here. This, I would say, one of the safer places to throw a bedroll down. There are no wires in this corner over here. So we're gonna toss that down there. Take care of our needs here. Soda pop you cannot get sick off of, it seems like, so you can drink that down to 0% condition and you are just fine with it. Spoilers, I actually need coffee too, so it's a good spot for us to stop. In general. We need condition, so we're going to stay away from sketchy stuff. So in the situation where we are almost half condition, we do want to make sure we're regenerating condition while we sleep, so we're going to eat only good food right now. We will cook this deer meat that we got at the burn barrel before we leave again. So, we got that, we got some water. Alright friends, this is where we're going to call it for right now. Next video, we're going to finish exploring through the dam. And probably head off to Pleasant Valley if we have the time. But thanks for hanging out, guys. Thanks for being so understanding about the time between the videos. And I will catch you in the next one. Later, Gators.